Okay, looking at our assignment here, our first one about studying about climate change, and you need to do some research. And if it says that if you need help, then you ought to take advantage of it. So I'm going to go through here, and I'm going to go here, and hide that. Okay, the slide opens. You went through here, and it says telling the difference between climate and weather. You looked at that. Hopefully, you kind of studied this and notice here it's kind of all blue. Here it's starting to get more yellow up at the top. Here it's getting really faded out and yellowy. And coming on down here, we have more faded yellow. Then the yellow becomes more prominent, and now we have yellow and red. And then you come through here and they talk about extreme temperature set and patterns and high temperatures, and the ratio is changing. And so then you come on down, you watch the video. I'm not going to watch it for you right now. And then it says that the warmest years, and they go through all this information. And then we have to where you can look at the land and ocean temperatures, and you can see where there are record warm temperatures. So we're looking for records and we're looking for data. So going through all that, it says need help. Yes, you all need help because you haven't ever done this before, I don't think. So it says check out the Koppen Geiger climate classification system. So it says include the name of your local climate type and subtype with its key characteristics. Kate, do you know how to do that? I don't. But this person here has the best answer of anybody that I have seen so far. So, but let's go through here, and I just happened to click on this one. So thank you very much. So if I go through here and I'm like, oh, what is this thing? And I'm like purposes, and I'm going to skim, and it's got overview. They did 30 years of temperatures. That's a long time. And then I'm going to come up here, and it says we have all these different kinds of climate, and the Earth's climate is done with interactions of the Earth and the sun and clouds and ice and land. And I'm skimming along, and I say there's 2 class periods. Okay, yep, going on down here. I'm on page 2, looking through here, and then it has background. That sounds important. Climate is an average of the day-to-day weather over a long duration, over 30 years. Hey, same thing I just kind of skimmed. Here's this guy back in 1900, figured this out, and then in 1954, the other guy, Rudolf Geiger, updated the system and made it available, and there it is. And hey, look, there are 5 major climate types. I should probably make a note of that there are 5 major climate types, and I'm going to classify us into one of those 5. So then it goes on through here, and I have an activity of what to do and how to do it. I didn't make you do these things because I figured you could kind of look along here and see they have 31 subclassifications. That's a lot. And then you notice that they took air temperatures from the table, and they have the annual one. And I said you needed some things. Air temperatures would be the same as temperatures. So, and you have accumulated annual precipitation and a participation threshold. So then you would come down here, and we have more. We have P, which was what? P was precipitation. And so you come through here, and we have the amount of precipitation in the driest month, the amount of precipitation in the wettest winter, the precipitation in the driest winter, and it goes on through that. I'm going to need to find that information out. So then they use New Delhi. And New Delhi is arid steppe hot in their climate. And then they sum it up. So we don't want to do New Delhi. We want to write a description of climate of this location. So we're going to go on through here, and it has more things. And I'm like, oh, this is interesting. Provide you with the background information. This is doing your microclimate or your subclimate. And then they want you to check the climate of the school grounds. Didn't have you do all that. They have you breaking this down and going very intensely. And then we go through here, and here are sources. Notice they have several sources. Going along here, here's the world map of all the things you looked at. There's nothing in the United States on that map. Here are those 5 major climate types again. Wow, 5 major climate types. And then they want you to classify these cities. Like Anchorage, Alaska, I would think it would be polar. That's just me. So going on down, and it may not. So then we're going to do India, and they go through India and they figure out the air temperature and the precipitation for every month of the year. I wonder if I can find that for Louisville. So if I look for air temperature and precipitation by month in Louisville, Kentucky. And when I do that, then I see climatology, which somebody cited that source from the National Weather Service. Daily records of temperature and precipitation, snowfall, snow depth, and PDF files. And so when I click on that, looky here, I have kind of the same thing. I have the maximum temperature, the minimum temperature, the average temperature, the precipitation, the amount of snow, no snow in June and July. I have a yellow thing here, which is summer. I have autumn, I have annual, I have spring, I have winter. So, and I think summer just happens to be yellow because it's happy. So, anyway, comes from there, and then I can see this is at Bowman Field. So, this is at Muhammad Ali International Airport, and this is at Bowman Field. And the temperatures should be pretty much the same. However, you notice that it's a little bit warmer all the way down at Ali International Airport. Why? There's more concrete around. There's more concrete, there's more asphalt. It holds heat. It's also not as cold, just slightly, but it's not as cold at those places or at that place. So you go through here, and this one doesn't have the snowfall because I don't know. Snow is probably the same. I don't know. So anyway, so I've got some data here to look at. I know my cited source, and this is a .gov website, so it's probably pretty accurate. So then I'm going to go back to where I was looking. So I pretty much have this table. Don't have 30-year data, but I've got data. So then I'm going to come down, and it's going to tell you, calculate the annual temperature from the figure by adding the monthly mean temperatures and divide. I've already got an average temperature, so I don't have to add them all up. I've got an annual temperature, 68.3 degrees, 49.7 degrees. And some of you have used terms that like, it's hot, it's cold, it's really foggy, it's really windy. You have to have data to back it up. If there's no data, it's just sentences. I could say that it's very green here, and it would mean absolutely nothing. So, going back to my data, I can go through here, and it says that I can determine the precipitation and calculate the threshold, and it says if 70% or more of the precipitation falls during the high sun summer half of the year, then you're going to do such and such a thing. That's in the southern hemisphere. We're not in the southern hemisphere. If 70% or more of the precipitation falls during the low sun winter of the year, then in the northern months, then you use that formula. And then if the participation spread is equally, then you do that. And so you would do this little formula. Put your precipitation, put your temperature, times 2, however you think it is. You would calculate that. Here's your worksheets. You could figure that out. Annual air temperature, coldest air temperature, warmest air temperature, your precipitation, your threshold. I don't care about New Delhi. I care about Louisville. Then it has your sub-precipitation, and then it tells you how they classify those. Just going through here, first sub. Now, if we don't know what they're called, they were back up here in this reading that we just kind of skimmed through. Okay? Didn't want you to read it, didn't want you to do it, didn't want you to assign it because didn't really think we needed to work through New Delhi. But you didn't know the answers. So now here it comes to you've got more information of climate classification with temperature and rainfall. You've got that data right here. Now your mean temperature, yours is probably not in Celsius if I use this. And that doesn't look like Celsius. That looks like Fahrenheit, and that's fine. So here it has some other information. Here's some worksheets. And then you're going to have your climate classification. So first you would put Louisville, Kentucky. Your latitude is blah, 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 north. Longitude is blah, 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 probably west. Okay, task. Using the city data provided, produce the monthly mean temperature, and then write a description of the climate for this location. Classify it. Here's your information. You go through all of this that you just kind of went through, and then there's your answer. That's what you should be telling us. And then it tells you here, if you want to look at it, is the temperature less than 10 degrees Celsius? Okay, you would have to convert it. I don't know how to convert well, I do. But if I don't know how to convert Fahrenheit to Celsius, then you can type how to convert Fahrenheit to, and look, I didn't even have to type it all, to Celsius. So then if the temperature is 32 degrees Celsius or Fahrenheit, then you would put that in. And here's the formula. 32 minus 32 times 5/9 equals your temperature degrees Celsius. Okay? So, I'm giving you all a do-over. Sorry, my puppies are very excited about it. So, calculate it, redo these, resubmit. Cite your source. I gotta take care of my dog. A rascally rabbit is about to attack my house. See you later.